When you communicate to a person, to quickly understand and analyze what his or her style is would help us to avoid above situation, but make more efficient and candid conversation. Also, easily to build a smooth, friendly, and healthy relationship within your office, home, and community. For example, when we talk to a person who is kind of initiating style, he or she may be perceived as talk more than listens, often perceived as self-assured, innovative, and persuasive. If we want to tell something different to them, try your best to not let them feel strongly or directly disagreed. We may tend to slow down them by asking questions. Those questions may be intended to attract them to another way of thinking. This is one common solution during the interaction. Meanwhile, another issue happens quite often during the interaction. An interaction leaves us confused and uncertain, like we miss the mark in trying to convey our thoughts and emotion in words. What we say doesn't align with what we mean. Our communication habit often don't reflect our dynamic thinking and emotions, giving others the wrong impression of what we want to communicate. This habit affects the way others perceive and responds to us during the interaction. At the same time, we also judge the habitual behavior of others and fail to understand what they want to convey. This process leaves gaps in understanding what another person means. To wrestle this and understand each other better, there is a most important way. First, expressing our desires and needs with confidence, directly and clearly. Second, asking the detail rather than to prejudge what leaves us uncertain. Third, encourage balanced conversation in which both sides have a chance to speak out their opinions. Last but not least, maintaining the comfortable eye contact all helps us to build a respectfully and honestly relationship to achieve an effective conversation. Whether you go related to your job, health, family, or finance, you will never get what you want without learning to communicate. Effective communication doesn't mean talking the loudest, getting the last word, or even avoid a conflict. Powerful communication intelligence means understanding needs and learning how to express them clearly, while also valuing the message you receive from others. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Excellent. Thank you, Helen. I would now like to ask, thank you so much, Shelley. Lisa's thoughts on the theme. I've never been an early adopter of a new technology, be it Facebook in the early 2000s, the Apple Watch in 2010, or COVID vaccine in 2020. Once it's proven itself, I'm happy to jump in on the bandwagon. I can definitely appreciate that. Lisa's speech, for many of us, this is the first time we've heard of Lessons Learned project. That is one of the electives in level 5 of all pathways. This project provides an opportunity to understand how to debrief a team after a project and evaluate the results, incorporating feedback and enhancing growth and leadership communication. Lisa Branch, conflict resolution, growing closer through conflict resolution. Growing closer through conflict resolution, Lisa Branch.
Conflict. What thoughts and images do you conjure when you hear the word conflict? Does it make you tense or anxious? Does it fire you up? Is it something to be avoided at all costs? Does it reflect negatively on you personally or professionally? Is all conflict bad? Fellow Toastmasters, today I am speaking to you about conflict resolution and some recent lessons learned. I am here to assure you that because no two people have exactly the same expectations and desires, conflict is a natural part of our interactions with others. Over the summer, both the outgoing and the incoming executive team were able to participate in a lessons learned meeting where we gathered together via WebEx to discuss both positive and negative aspects of a club experience that involved conflict. This special meeting encouraged an environment of contribution and voicing opinions in a respectful and calm manner. I was able to facilitate productive discussion and brainstorming sessions that produced action items that our leaders in our club have initiated, developed, and implemented to ensure that our club runs smoothly and remains the vibrant club of excellence that we have come to know and appreciate. According to Doctors Thomas and Killiman, both experts in behavioral science and conflict management, there are 5 strategies for dealing with conflict. Let's see which strategy is your go-to when dealing with conflict. Do you avoid? Are you hoping that it will resolve itself or dissipate? Are you accommodating, which I also call appeasing, which is satisfying the other person but at your own expense? Are you compromising, which is coming to an acceptable resolution that no one is really completely satisfied with? Do you compete? Do you try to satisfy your own desires at the expense of others? Or how about collaborating? Finding a solution that entirely satisfies all involved. In these strategies, there is a give and take between assertiveness and cooperativeness that is nicely illustrated in this chart. So competing is assertive but uncooperative. A person pursues their own concerns at the other person's expense. In this mode, we use whatever power seems appropriate to win our own position. The ability to argue, to pull rank, or to even bribe. Competing includes standing up for your beliefs, standing up for your rights, and is generally a little bit more hostile. Accommodating is unassertive and cooperative. It's the complete opposite of competing. When accommodating, a person neglects their own concerns to satisfy the concerns of the other person. There's an element of self-sacrifice in this mode. Accommodating might take on the form of selfless generosity, obeying someone else's command even when you don't really want to, or yielding to another person's point of view. Avoiding is unassertive and uncooperative. A person isn't pursuing their own concerns or the concerns of another person. Thus, they do not deal with the conflict. Avoiding might take the form of diplomatically sidestepping an issue, not taking a phone call or replying to an email until a better time, or simply withdrawing from a threatening situation. Collaborating is both assertive and cooperative, the complete opposite of avoiding. Collaborating involves an attempt to work with others to find solutions that fully satisfy their concerns. It means digging into an issue to pinpoint the underlying needs and wants of the people involved. Collaborating might take on the form of exploring a disagreement to learn from the other person's perspective, or trying to find a creative solution to an interpersonal problem. Compromising is moderate in both assertiveness and cooperativeness. The objective is to find some expedient, mutually acceptable solution that partially satisfies both parties. Compromising gives up more than competing, but less than accommodating. Likewise, it addresses an issue more directly than avoiding, but does not explore it as in-depth as collaborating. In some situations, compromising might mean splitting the difference between bartering or seeking a quick middle ground solution. In the conflict situation that I was involved in, I definitely started with the avoiding strategy, hoping the issue would resolve on its own. Then I moved to accommodating, trying to appease, but the results of this strategy can often be seen as unfair or showing favoritism. As we moved forward with collaboration, which takes time, energy, and patience, we ultimately ended up compromising to come to a quicker resolution that was more or less agreeable to all the parties involved. My experience with this project has been extremely positive, and it was definitely a growth opportunity. I learned how to research policies, ask for advice, work through multiple conflict resolution strategies, maintain professionalism, not put off emails or other communication, and listen to a variety of perspectives. Whatever you aspire for your next project, if you have team members, anticipate where you might experience conflict and be looking for ways to balance your own assertiveness and cooperation. I encourage you to do a lessons learned meeting to benefit from the feedback, ideas, and collaboration with your team. When I hear the word conflict, I'm no longer filled with dread and apprehension. I now have a new awareness and some experience from working through it with others. Dare I say that conflict has brought our team closer together. Madame Toastmaster.
Fantastic job. Thank you so much, Lisa. I would like to ask for now 1 minute to allow the evaluators time to finish off the evaluation of Lisa's speech, please.
So your speech was very powerful. Strong opening, asked us questions about conflict that made us look into ourselves. A great opening so that it made us curious about your topic and where you were going to lead us with that. I also felt that you built up to your purpose and then you added details as you went. So that was a great crescendo leading to the meat of the topic around conflict and resolution. What I would suggest to you is where you went into a bit of a dip was when you started screen sharing, because you're talking about complex concepts like cooperation and compromising, and those showing those words might have been less effective than if you had images for that. So competing, conflicting, that might have created an image in our minds so we could follow along, because your follow-up slide, the green one, where you divided those 5 strategies into assertive and cooperation, it was difficult to remember which was which. But that aside, there was a lot of meat, a lot of to digest, and that was fantastic. It made me want to know more. And I'm extremely impressed with how you managed your meeting and how you told that story. Your hand signals, your body motion, your vocal variety was good. You succeeded in using your lower tones, and you still have the ability to provide us with a lot of information while giving us your feeling about it. So that made it successful overall. So thank you for a great speech and one that really taught me something. Madam Toastmaster.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Shelley. Fantastic evaluations from our evaluators today and phenomenal speeches. I would now like to ask if Irma could please provide us with her grammarian and all counter report for